The grandfather of a boy who died in an Alpharetta daycare is making an emotional plea for justice. Now, firefighters say they received a suspicious call around the times their cars were broken into. They received a call that said a tree was down on Howell Mill and Marietta Street, but when they arrived here, they found nothing. Now, we spoke to someone from the city about the streetcar's electrical issues over the weekend, but they told us until they figure out exactly what happened, we wouldn't be getting an interview. I would suggest bringing a jacket because it is a bit chilly and temperatures are only going to continue to drop. The mother of 4-year-old Jay Burgos was surprised that her son even had an accident in the first place, but she was even more surprised to learn how the school and his teacher handled the situation. When you ask who's an awesome teacher at Bethlehem Elementary School, one answer, Cassie Motes. But here at Catalyst Fitness, they say city inspectors are interpreting this definition in several different ways. At the CSX Railroad Terminal, truck drivers are being educated on railroad safety. When they approach a track, they're told to not commit if their trailer doesn't fit. Now a developing story impacting 500,000 truck owners. Fiat Chrysler will buy back defective trucks and Jeeps. The 4th Republican presidential debate is tonight at 7 p.m. Go to GradyNewsSource.com where we posted what you can hear from the various candidates. Those meeting at the Arch at 6:30 say the rain won't stop them. They're members of Jubilee Partners and Georgians for Alternative to the Death Penalty, and their meeting here tonight is one of 9 happening across the state. I spoke with Commissioner Melissa Link late this afternoon. She said she is in support of decriminalization of marijuana and believes that most of her colleagues on the board are as well. Police say the suspect was inside touring the home and the real estate agent was out here on the porch when all of a sudden he came out of the house and attacked her. I'm out here on Clayton Street in front of General Bogart's, the bar that many social media users say this controversial menu came from. However, in this menu, you can't see a name of any bar or restaurant on it. 2 beds, a desk, and a mini fridge. All items found inside a typical college dorm room. But the person living inside room 201 is anything but typical. Chessa Burrell is a freshman at the University of Georgia. She was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy at birth, a disease that has wiped out her ability to move her muscles. But Chessa's debilitating disease didn't stop her from fulfilling her lifelong dream of attending college.
She has a really good person and I want to be a vet, so I figured that would be a place to go.
Because of her disability, Chessa must have around-the-clock assistance from one of her aides. Sarah Cobb, a sophomore at the University of Georgia, found Chessa on Care.com last summer.
Personal aid popped up, and it was for a freshman at UGA. And she was from my hometown, surprisingly. So I set up an interview, and it went really well, and we just hit it off.
Sarah's typical duties include everything from helping Chessa with homework to getting her ready for the day. And even though it's a demanding job, Sarah says it doesn't always feel like work.
Whatever she wants to do that day, I am more than willing to do because she's so fun to be around and I love helping her out.
Chessa has transitioned smoothly to college, saying the hardest part for her is having more homework than she did in high school. But like most young adults, her favorite part of college is hanging out with her new friends.
Yesterday we went and we cooked out in the quad and made burgers and stuff and just hung out, threw the frisbee a little bit.
While wrapping up a successful first year at UGA, Chessa inspires all around her, spreading awareness about spinal muscular atrophy to everyone she meets. She doesn't waste time worrying about her disease. She's too busy enjoying life.
It goes really fast.
It does.
Chelsea Beimfor, Grady News Source. A firefighter sweeps away shattered glass from the windows of his truck. Police say his truck was one of 4 cars broken into early Tuesday morning at Fire Station 11 on 16th Street.
It's sad. It shows us none of us are immune. It happens to police officers. It happens to firefighters. We're just hopeful the investigator can turn something from it.
Police say 1 firearm was stolen from the cars, amongst other personal items. Now, firefighters say they received a suspicious call around the time their cars were broken into. They received a call that said there was a tree down here on Howell Mill and Marietta Street. But when they got here, they found nothing. According to an Atlanta City spokeswoman, fire stations 11, 14, and 15 have all been hit twice in the last 6 months.
What we're hoping to do is try to find some camera footage that would have captured someone in that parking lot at the time, and then be able to compare that to whether or not it coincided with that 911 call about the tree down.
An investigator told us a rotating camera on the 17th Street Bridge might have captured the incident and could potentially help them in their investigation. Sergeant Lyons is currently working with investigators to see if there is a connection between all of the break-ins, and he's disappointed in those who are stealing from heroes.
They're going around victimizing the same people that would do anything to help their family.
A city spokeswoman says installing security cameras at all stations in Atlanta is on the to-do list. Installation is set to begin later this year. Chelsea Beimpour, Channel 2 Action News. Just off Highway 98 in Danielsville, Bobby Rooker arrives to work at the Madison County Food Bank.
We never know what we're going to get.
For 23 years, Bobby has dedicated her service to the food bank, and for almost 2 decades, she worked strictly on a volunteer basis. But Bobby feels fortunate that she has been given this opportunity to provide for her community.
I'm very blessed that when you go to work, you're not going to work, you're just going to do what you like. And God's been good to me.
3 days a week, Bobby stuffs grocery bags to the brim with her assistant Tracy and her special needs grandson Justin. The food bank has everything from canned goods and boxed pastas to personal hygiene items and baby food. But Bobby and her grandson agree the birthday bags provided by a local church are the most special item they have to offer.
You got your cake mix and your frosting. This one's even got a bag of oil.
People seeking assistance can come to this door of the food pantry and pick out whatever items they need. Or people can make donations like local farmer Henry Stone, who has been donating to the Madison County Food Bank for over 40 years.
It's nice to be able to give away surplus food.
And Bobby's compassion and commitment to the community is felt by everyone around her.
She seems to have forgiveness to no end, when I mess up or if I mess up somewhere along the lines, And I say, I'm sorry, it's okay, it's done, it's over. Tomorrow will be a new day.
A new day, another donation, and a deed well done. Bobby says God has blessed her, and for 23 years, Bobby has blessed others. Chelsea Beimpour, Grady News Source. Tonight's Cherokee County Board of Commissioners meeting ended in an uprising after a group of protesters were very frustrated that a funeral home is going to be built on this land right behind me, right across the street from their neighborhood. An angry mob nearly had to be escorted out of tonight's Cherokee County Board of Commissioners meeting.
You sit there and do nothing, and you let this man smiling halfway through everything.
County Commissioner Brian Poole has plans to break ground on a funeral home off Eagle Drive across from the Town Lake subdivision in Woodstock. In protest, residents showed up to the meeting wearing red and holding signs that said no.
We deserve better. Cherokee County, Woodstock, Town Lake, we deserve better.
The loud and emotionally charged outburst was brought on by Commissioner Scott Gordon, explaining to the crowd that the property was zoned accordingly, had been for 20 years, and Poole met all of the necessary requirements to move forward with the funeral home.
Makes me want to cry.
Cindy Cruz lives in the Town Lake subdivision just across from the property where Poole plans to build the funeral home, and she's concerned that one day he will add a crematory.
My home is about 500 feet from the property, and it just scares me to death. It's something that we're going to have to consider. Are we going to stay here, or are we going to leave the home that we've had for 17 years that our children have grown up in?
We spoke with Poole's attorney, who told us the commissioner had received death threats and been bullied by community members. But he also assured us that Poole's bank loan requires a very specific business plan that does not include a crematory.
The business plan and model moving forward that has been approved by all parties involved is that the crematorium will not be located upon the property.
The funeral home is set to break ground in a few weeks and should open early in 2016. In Cherokee County, I'm Chelsea Beimpour, Channel 2 Action News.